Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. Today is Monday, December 29th. We're back, and we're here to talk about all things crypto. If you've got a question, a suggestion, a good joke, a word of wisdom, or you just want to share what Santa brought you this Christmas, then let us know. Leave it in a comment wherever you are, whenever you listen. And don't forget, the show is live 24/7 over at community.rumshq.com, where the only thing missing, my friends, is you. Okay, guys, we were talking about it backstage. How was your Christmas?
It was good.
Good. We did it again.
Good. It was nice, man. I was up in Maine, got 2 days of skiing in, and then before that was down in Maryland hanging out with my girlfriend's family. And yeah, celebrated my birthday and my Christmas. They're all right next to each other in the place that is ultra special to me, which is Sugarloaf, Maine. It's a ski resort near the Canadian border in Maine. It's where most of my family is from. Just had a good time, man. It's my happy place, so it was great.
You looked happy. I was digging your Instagram story, and I'm really curious to know the story of like the waffle contest, and specifically, I have seen a resurgence of September 11th art. And I thought that September 11th, I voted for the September 11th waffle.
Yeah. The 9/11 waffle was the clear winner.
It was pretty impressive.
It was pretty great.
For someone with no context, this is wild.
It was a monument made in breakfast food, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
It was a monument to 9/11 made out of waffles, sausages, and fruits. And it won the annual Christmas Watson Brother waffle competition.
So Will won?
I did win. I did win. The 9/11 waffle was my waffle, which is great because I had lost the past 2 years in a row. So I really needed to come out swinging, and I came out swinging with 9/11, and nothing says Christmas quite like 9/11.
This is, first of all, for sure. This particular contest is one that you do every year?
Every single year. So since like 2019 or 2018, I have every single Christmas from 2018 categorized on my personal Instagram stories and then saved on my Instagram profile, so you can see what Christmas was like for my family
in waffles.
In not just in waffles, but like the entire day, because Christmas to us, it starts and we open up stockings, and that's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then after we all go through our stockings individually, we go and we have waffles. And that became a waffle art competition just 1 year. And then we started putting on our Instagram story to create polls and had everybody on our Instagram vote. And then it became an annual competition. And then after that, we go around, we open gifts one by one. And we're not done opening up everything until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. And then, we eat and we enjoy gifts, and maybe we go to the gym and go to the hot tub. But we're also, as soon as I wake up, me and my brother are drinking. And so there was one Christmas where there was 17 or 18 drinks consumed.
Oh my gosh.
And like 2 of them were like triple whiskeys. So like there's this one Christmas, my friends are like, dude, I can't wait. People tell me I can't wait to see your Instagram story on Christmas. They're like, one of my favorite things on Christmas is at the end of the day, going to your Instagram and just seeing what kind of demonstrative Christmas day you and your brother had. And I'm just like, yes. But since then, though, as I've gotten older, the amount of drinks have gone down because alcohol hurts. So, but yes, there's an annual brother waffle art competition. We put the poll up on Instagram. Our close friends vote. We typically have somewhere between like 50 to 100 people vote on it. And we have a winner each year. My brother beat me the past 2 years. And even though one of them was my favorite waffle ever made, I sliced the skin off of like 30 or 20 strawberries to make it perfectly flat so I could make a Pac-Man ghost. It was a beautiful Pac-Man ghost. It had like the blueberry as an eye. It was a perfect Pac-Man ghost. And I was like, no way this doesn't win. It's gorgeous. And Chris beat me by like making a shitty robot. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
You're not still mad.
Yeah, I'm still mad about it. It's my favorite one. And so this year he made the Terminator face with the skin melting off. And then I made 9/11 by creating sausage towers. And as I was making it, and I had like a strawberry plane going into the second tower with the first tower like smoking with whipped cream, my parents are like, oh, it's like medieval towers. My dad's like, no, it's like the stand of an umbrella for like hanging out at the beach. And my mom's like, oh, it's just like a little building. And I'm like, oh, you guys are getting closer. I'm just like, and they're like, do we know what it is? Are we close? And I was like, you're getting there. And then at the end, they're like, what is it? I'm like, it's 9/11. And they're like, everyone at the table just went, oh.
It would be unpatriotic
great.
not to vote for that.
It would be unpatriotic. Never forget.
As somebody who
Did you
loves
forget?
America and also breakfast food, like
Did you forget?
no, never forget.
Never forget. Vote for
Never
9/11.
forget. Okay,
Anyway, that's
is
it.
it
That's
is
a
it cool?
little bit
Is it cool to share your Instagram on the stream, or would you prefer to keep it if you know you know?
If you know, you know.
Okay,
My
well, if
personal
you know.
Instagram is my personal Instagram.
If you
So
know,
that one
you
stays
know. You
separate.
got to come find it, Will. I mean, Will. Everyone is named Will. No, just our Will.
Probably,
Okay,
statistically.
Alex. What did you do with your breakfast food on Christmas?
Well, by comparison, nothing.
You're really underutilizing breakfast.
Apparently. Yeah, no, it was, Christmas is not as extravagant as at the Watsons. But it was good. It was like 70 degrees.
Yeah, dude, ours too.
Ours was -22 the day after Christmas.
We went to the beach. Sat on the beach for a little bit. It was sunny and gorgeous. Nary a cloud in the sky. 70 to 75 degrees. Beautiful.
I love it. It was hot here too. Hot. We were in Michigan the week before and then came back for a hot Christmas. And now it dropped like 40 degrees overnight. It's like 30 something outside right now.
We got a crazy cold front today too.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know about you, but my favorite, I was going to ask you guys like what some of your favorite gifts to give or get were. And by you guys, I mean everybody listening, if you were playing along or what your favorite thing you ate was. I got to say, one of my favorite gifts that I got was definitely, I cannot wait to give you this. This is from our friend Adriano. If you missed it, we opened this last week on the show. I believe the most recent episode that is recorded, something about cold storage for Christmas, 429 is the episode. He gave us these ballet wallets, these Bitcoin hardware wallets. Those were really cool. I got a really great green robe from Kimberly that matches my, forest aesthetic. And she also got me this picture of me and my grandpa. My grandpa died this year. And she got me this great picture of us sitting at his house together. And it's just like a regular day hanging out, listening to him tell stories and like snoozing together by the fire. It was really great. So I'm glad that we got to do this show, this Christmas, all of it, life together. But, I want to do a year in review episode. That's what I'm hoping for. If you've got a clip, if you've got something you laughed at, laughed with, or learned from, please leave it in a comment or send it to me over at community.rumshq.com. I'm thinking, what is the 31st, guys? That's going to be Wednesday, right? That's Web3 101 Wednesday?
Dude, I don't know what days are right now. We're in that no man's land between Christmas and New Year's.
Well, if we can figure out what day it is, I'm going to do one. I'm going to bring clips for you guys to listen to, for you guys to reflect on.
That is Wednesday.
Dude, so much happened this year. So much happened this year. I mean, we had the Bitcoin all-time high. We had every ETF. We had Trump. We had Melania. We had Libra. We had, you name it. It seems like it happened, and I forgot about it.
Doesn't a Bitcoin all-time high sound good right about now?
Yeah. Oh, Jane said, please include the accidental battle Alex had while he was
solo.
solo.
The dance battle. That's the highlight.
Oh my gosh. Speaking
My personal
of
favorite
things
thing
to
about that was
forget.
I was in a public Japanese bathroom at the time, and I was just like, what is happening here right now?
You and I were equal parts clueless. I still don't really know what happened.
Yeah, if that's a really good one. Please, Jane, please send it to me in a message, in a comment, preferably over at community.rumshq.com. I'm certainly going to lose it in the comments. And friends of the show, Tori, Bearded, everybody, if you see something good, make sure it finds its way to me. Tori said about the dance battle, Alex, download that shit. If you didn't download it, it might be gone forever, man. That's, they've only got 30 days before those things go away.
Is it 30 or 60?
Dude, I hope it's 60 if you're not downloaded yet. I need you to download that. We really need that for the archive. That cannot die to history.
We'll take a look. There's some screenshots. I know there's at least a few screenshots in circle.
I'd like the
Oh
clip.
my God, I was a dolphin. That's right. For a really long
I'd like
time.
the clip, please.
Don't remind me.
Okay,
That was a dark time. That was a dark time in our history.
that is also going on the greatest hits. Definitely the blue banana has got to be there. I have so far written down, what do I have? I have the blue banana. I have William Quigley chases the bear. I have the fart heard round the world. And now I'm going to add Alex gets in a dance off from hell. So let us know.
Well,
That's great.
The important thing about that is that I absolutely crushed him. And I didn't have to do a single dance move.
Nope.
No.
That's the power of our support system.
I grew a mustache this year. And now, it's the beginning of every single conversation with everybody.
That was also my experience when I never stopped No Shave Novembering like 5 or 6 years ago. And everyone's like, oh, this is a thing now. And I was like, I think it's a thing now.
Yeah. And now every single conversation I get whenever I hop on anyone else's podcast is it's the greatest mustache in crypto. And I was like, every single time I hear that, it makes me just more and more solidified that I should just have this mustache forever.
I do take that personally, but it is a good mustache.
Well, you haven't had a mustache for as long as I've ever known you.
It's right there.
Dude,
No, that's a
Alex's
beard.
mustache was
That's a
iconic.
beard.
Before his mustache walked, so yours could fly. Like,
I know,
let me tell you.
I know you would have a greater, stronger mustache, but you have to untether it.
I don't know if it was
Untether
greater,
it.
stronger.
Let it
Perhaps.
fly.
Yours is darker and thicker, but Alex had like
it's
I swear to
bushier.
God, he measured it with a ruler.
Well, it had to be in
looked-
regs for a while.
It was in regs, dude. It was definitely.
It was
in
actually
regs.
almost never in regs. I got yelled at all the time.
Really.
Oh, dude. The only saving grace that I had is that a couple of the rescue swimmers had really out of regs ones. And so Chief's ire would be directed to the swimmers. And I could
Okay,
kinda
mustaches
skate
aside, collect this stuff in the comments for me. We want to hear it from you. I think it's time for us to start answering some crypto questions because they're rolling.
That'd
in.
be
What do you
good.
say?
We should probably
it's
start the show.
8:20. We should probably start.
This question is from Steven. Hey, Steven, thanks so much for trusting us to help you. And if you've got a question and you're like, hey, do I call in? Do I come up? If you're on TikTok, we can welcome you to the stage, but we prefer not to do it with first-time guests just because we've been burned before by trolls who seem friendly and then they jump on screen and just, scream on air or whatever. Steven asks, and thank you for asking it in a comment. I work...
Scream on.
Scream on the air.
Sorry,
Just
Evan, that was such a... What Evan means to say is that this one time we let this guy up and he immediately started yelling racial slurs, and so
Yeah,
we don't
it
do
was-
that anymore.
it was
You
terrible.
have to talk to us offline.
You got to talk to us offline or get to know us a little. Then we can welcome you up.
And
But,
we had no clue how to get rid of him. And it was a real problem.
It was like the dance battle, but worse.
And then all of a sudden, it became an Xbox 360 Call of Duty lobby from the early 2000s.
So
Steven-
nothing personal, but
Steven says, I work for, I lost the comment. Here you go. A large firm. When do you think larger firms will start introducing crypto trading? And my follow-up question is specifically, is he talking about like a Goldman Sachs? Meaning like people who are trading with each other B2B? Is he talking about a family office, Bank of America, Wealth Advisory, that kind of thing? And then I thought just generally while we wait for the follow-up, we can give a little context. Do you guys know much about the state of crypto trading outside of consumer pockets?
yeah, it's a good question. It kind of depends. A number of them are kind of already dabbling. The ones for whom that business move is more logical as a next step, than anything else. And then at the same time, I feel like the crypto firms are kind of adopting stock trading at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Genius and if Clarity eventually passes, do anything, it will be to empower that exact thing at the cost of DeFi protocols struggling greatly to stay any kind of compliant with rules that they literally can't follow. So I mean, if as I'm calling it now, Franken Clarity, because it's just being chopped up and mashed back together with a bunch of garbage that doesn't belong there right now. If that passes this year, I think you would see a relatively aggressive pivot into offering services like that from firms and institutions and companies and stuff like, those that you just mentioned.
Yeah, and those products are probably all built out, and they're just waiting for the go-ahead to just kind of flick on the switch and turn them on and activate them.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I think
it's going to be right around. I think 2026 will be the year for it.
But the answer is legislation, not just no action letters. Because right now we haven't really gotten any of that, and it's all just sort of like an SEC saying, we don't have the resources nor the desire to go after any of this stuff. So have at it. And not a lot of rules have really changed. And so we'll kind of see which way that goes. But I don't know. Honestly, if it does, I'm concerned.
So there are a couple of, Stephen clarified, talking about both B2B and consumer facing. And there are a couple of innovations that have actually happened kind of recently. We covered this on the show, that Bank of America, which includes like Merrill and other private banks, they are going to be able to recommend regulated Bitcoin ETFs to their clients and suggest an allocation of like up to 4%, depending on their particular client. So before, they were on a, if the client asks, and only then can you recommend or offer it. But now it's going to be an advisor-initiated recommendation starting January 2026. This is something I'm not terribly familiar about in a deep way. I have a friend who's a fiduciary and has been doing it for a long time. But these money managers, family offices, the people who advise you what to buy, they have specific rules about the kinds of products they are allowed to offer you. And something kind of cynical I heard a crypto friend say about Bitcoin ETFs was like, oh, now you're going to start to hear these money managers talk about Bitcoin because they can finally make money off of it. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but I expect to see more of that. Morgan Stanley, Fidelity Investment Managers.
You don't think that's true?
That's wild.
Listen to me.
All the TP custodian bigwigs do is shill it now. It's all they talk about. What I'm saying
is, I don't think most small business owners who get into the money management game, the person I'm thinking of specifically is a man who grew up poor and worked hard for everything he has and helps people who really don't know much about money avoid the same kinds of perils that his parents had. You know what I mean?
I would say that person is like 5% of that entire industry.
Right, and I get that the incentives
poor,
make the man.
Especially if they were poor and they got into money management, they really want to make money, and so they're going to do the thing that makes them money. It's just a matter of like, hey, what's going to happen in the world is where the financial incentive is, and like
I agree completely.
Just like where things go,
Incentives are everything. I totally agree.
But Evan, I love so very much how optimistic you are in the nature of humanity. It's truly an inspiration.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know that the incentive is going to create the systemic thing is a bigger deal. So I'm into that. Someone asked what an ETF was. One of you boys want to explain what is an ETF?
This is an electronic traded fund. Typically, an ETF is think of it as like a bucket of various assets that are all kind of related to one another, right? That's typically what
exchange.
An ETF is. Oh, an exchange traded fund. I said electronic. Yes, exchange traded fund. Thanks, Alex. Thanks. And so it's typically a bucket of things that you're like, hey, I want access to like this type of asset class, and then you buy a share that represents your ownership of this bucket of things. It doesn't have to be though, because there's obviously the gold ETF, which is just gold. There's the Bitcoin ETF, which is just Bitcoin. The Ethereum ETF, which is just Ethereum. But that's typically what an ETF is. It's a bucket of things, right? And it's typically seen as like a safer investment vehicle. Now, for Bitcoin, speaking about this specifically, you have non-spot ETFs and spot ETFs. Spot ETFs are the things we're excited about because you buy the share, and all you have is this piece of paper, essentially, that digital, that says you own and have exposure to this asset, and then the company, in this case BlackRock, will then have Coinbase. You don't need to know the details. The issuer of the ETFs will go and they will acquire that asset. That is a spot ETF. So it actually reduces supply from the open market of, in this case, Bitcoin. They have to go and procure the Bitcoin if they have not already procured it. And that is the ETF. So you, as the investor, you do not own the Bitcoin in the sense that you can send it and do stuff with it, right? You just have a piece of paper that says you have exposure to this asset, and the Bitcoin that is held, in this case, by Coinbase on behalf of BlackRock, if we're going with that ETF issuer, BlackRock, is yours. And then your investment goes up and down. Your portfolio goes up and down because you are exposed to the asset. Beautiful.
Thank you. On the way to the next question, we have got Magic. Shout out Magic, friend of the show, who says, JP Morgan Chase & Company is also exploring offering institutional clients access to spot and derivatives crypto trading and has already allowed clients to buy Bitcoin since mid-May 2025 and adds, I'm filling in for Bearded today with a Carrot update. DeFi Carrot 4.82%. Hot on his heels. There's Palmer. There's Bearded. He's coming for you, Bearded. Carrot at 4.82%, the lowest I have seen, but still beating my savings account. Of course, they're talking about DeFi Carrot. Friends of the show, not sponsored by DeFi Carrot, but we're just glad to help them out. We use them a hell of a lot, that's for sure.
I just want free merch. That Carrot merch.
Dude.
Fire.
The Carrot hats? I love it.
Carrot hats are good, man. I don't like hats that much because I have great hair. But I would totally wear that. Shit's
Dude,
dope.
I've been in a hat phase in my life. You know I wear hats like this all the time, but I have never been a big baseball hat guy since I've had long hair. But the Jito hat is pretty fire.
I dislike how much I look good in the camo hat. Because
in a camo hat.
I'm like, damn, if I didn't have the mustache, I don't think this would come together. But damn it, this looks good. I look like I'm from like upstate Maine, where you're so far north, you're south. That's what we say. It's like, hey, welcome to Maine, where you're so far north, you're south.
I just need someone to start making crypto hats in Richardson 112s because
that's your hat, man. I know.
They
all do
the
such
hat.
a low profile hat, and I have such a big head. I would prefer honestly like a trucker hat. Would be the kind of thing that would fit my
And
dome.
the best one is the Richardson 112.
Okay, Richardson 112. Partners.
That's ideal.
Your move. Acapella asks, what are our thoughts on Monad and Polymarket? We have talked a lot about both these projects, probably more about Polymarket on the show. And Monad got a lot of our attention right after the Coinbase public sale.
That's right. I was like, why do I know Monad again?
What's interesting to me about both these projects is the conversation around them. And Polymarket specifically is one that I want to do more content on because there are lots of ways that you can arbitrage Polymarket that will help you make money if that's what you're here to do, that don't require you being right twice, by which I mean buying at the right time and then selling at the right time some volatile cryptocurrency token. So that's my thought. I also want to get Josh Hudson. He was hired there at Polymarket recently. He's a friend of mine and soon will be a friend of the show, friend of yours on the show to talk about what they're doing, what they're building. And honestly, that's where my thoughts on both these projects end. I just got into the public beta finally for Polymarket and I just haven't gotten off the waiting list yet. I want to do it so I can make content. But Monad, I don't know. It doesn't excite me. I got to wait and see what they do. What do you think?
They're at the stage now where I will not be remotely interested in anything they do until something starts making like an actual impact. They did the thing, they launched, they did the old, the pre-sale. That was interesting. I do think it was relatively fine, but now it's kind of just entered the world of like, oh yeah, it's a network and I'm not aware of anything happening there. And so let's see what gets built.
Yeah.
This is the slog.
Yeah, I just don't care about Monad. I just don't care about any platform crypto that comes out because I just don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need it. Like, where are you going to get the developers? Cool, you have 5 developers building on you because everyone else is building on Ethereum and Solana right now. Okay, cool, great. Until you do something, I don't care to pay attention to you. That's the thing. It's just there's so many platform cryptos out there, and Ethereum has such a head start. So does Solana. So does Avalanche. Sui was good. Was the best one out the gates of the new ones of 2024. was the best
I mean,
one out of the gates.
There's a handful, right, of because Sui too, I haven't seen
a whole lot out of them. It's just that like they're still just kind of there, and they still have money on chain, and it's still an impressive amount. But even then, like it's really distant down. And I'm just talking pure like adoption of the blockchain usage. To me, it's Ethereum, and then you have like Solana, right? You've kind of actually I'll give like a bigger distance here, and then you have like Avalanche. And then you have, like, I don't know, whatever would be next. Like, there's a large distance down. When it comes to price appreciation of a token, Sui did better than Avalanche. And, percentage-wise, did better than Solana, too, just because it was a smaller market cap. But, Sui's token did better than Avalanche. But from an adoption standpoint, Avalanche smoked Sui.
Yeah, they're interesting because, actually, those two, Sui versus Avalanche, they're a great comparison because I would call them in relatively similar positions from actually here, let me see, where is Avalanche on this list here? Yikes. Okay, here we go. So
just ahead.
They are just ahead by about $250 million.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of like L1, L2s in that like billion range.
Avalanche looks nice.
Although Avalanche TVL in AVAX has been on a steady uptrend since April, or actually since February of last year.
Yeah, it's been good. The fundamental adoption of Avalanche has been really nice.
And I can confirm
that's really good actually.
I was participating in a Turtle Club DeFi farm there for the last like 2 months, so there is some activity that people are trying to cook up and incentivize growth for.
See, here's another one. This is nutty. So since January of last year, Ethereum has been like on it. I mean, you got this behemoth of a spike here and a fall off, but like overall uptrend for the past what is going to be about 2 years here, which is killer.
And this is an uptrend, folks, in total value locked, all the dollars deployed in all the different protocols
even
across
longer,
the blockchain
Oh my god,
network.
Solana's crazy.
Look at that shit.
Dude. This is one of the things that makes me really bullish for crypto. Like even if you're holding a token that doesn't matter, if it's on the front page, like I think the floor is raising. I think is kind of what's happening here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's Hyperliquid been doing since the start of the bear market?
Dude, Hyperliquid is the winner this year. If I had to pick a winner for like protocols, it would be the protocol of the year.
Yeah.
That might be something we could do on a show. Maybe we could do it before the end of this show. Protocol of the year or like crypto project of the year.
Yeah, Hyperliquid is definitely a bag that I'll be filling up on in this bear market. For sure. Because like as long as that TVL remains good, then their buyback and burns remain good because they keep making money and they take a portion of that money and they buy back Hype token. And then Hyperliquid will probably continue to do really, really, really well, particularly even if the DeFi legislation that comes out of Washington is inhibitive of DeFi. Hyperliquid probably gets more adoption as a result because that's just how the decentralized world works. And you probably have the Hype token do really freaking well.
So just in an effort to back us up here briefly, what we're looking at right here, which we never really addressed, is, first of all, this is DeFi Llama, which is just like the ultimate dashboard for all things DeFi, numbers related. This is the data hub for DeFi. And the charts that we were just kind of looking at here as I clicked through these different ecosystems, here being Ethereum, this is total value locked, TVL. It's a measure of how much money, how many tokens, how much is currently in this ecosystem doing stuff. And when we look at it, we always toggle over the TVL into the native token, whatever this is. So this is Ethereum's TVL in Ether, or we're looking at Avalanche's TVL in AVAX. And we do that just because the US dollar value of the TVL changes depending on the price of the token, not the amount of the token working on the ecosystem. So it's much more indicative of a protocol's overall health as an ecosystem when we stop and look and see how much of its actual native token is being used by people in its ecosystem to do stuff, whatever the stuff might be for that particular ecosystem. And so it's interesting to see that pretty much all of these big layer 1s and 2s are looking at, I mean, look at that. This is a significant uptrend in Polygon's TVL in Paul. I mean, aggressive, actually. More aggressive than... Wow, that's actually kind of wild. From 1 billion in December of 23 over the past 2 years now to 11.2 billion. Ethereum's been in a TVL uptrend for 2 years. Solana has been in a TVL uptrend for longer than 2 years. I mean, here we're going back it's almost going to be 3 years since like it really bottomed out. Very interesting. All of this indicates basically that people are doing stuff, or groups of people are doing stuff in the ecosystem with the token. And you would expect to see that number go up with inflation of the native currency to a degree. But even in an environment where that was the only contributing factor, I don't think it would really give an uptrend quite like this. You would just see a lot of hemorrhaging of that token.
Yeah, it feels good to buy these tokens because like I buy Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin every day. And it feels really nice to be buying into these when their fundamental adoption is going upwards, because I'm just like, okay, cool. Yeah, more vote of confidence that things are still going well here from an adoption standpoint, and price is a distraction from the fundamental adoption of these from a TVL standpoint, but also future partners, future building from institutions, yada, 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 the growth of the DeFi space, all that good stuff.
Now, the other thing you didn't mention, Alex, that we always like to say is that because this is sourced from publicly available data, DeFi Llama, I don't think is out here like paying $1,000 a month for the different APIs somebody might need to connect. It is subject to verification. There are some networks and chains where the TVL is underreported. For example, I don't see Aptos up here, and I think they have a claim that they've got like $500 million of RWAs tokenized or something. Oh, the text is just so small, I can't even see
It's small and it's blue on black.
Yeah.
But to your point, yes, DeFi Llama only indexes what it can publicly verify. It will not report on TVL or volume or revenue or really any measurable metric here. Like, I mean, if we look at Ethereum's probably the best example with the most stuff. If you look here at, your stablecoin market cap, chain fees generated, revenue, total app revenue, blah, 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 DEX volume, all that kind of stuff, it will only report on that if it's publicly verifiable. If they would have to go to a central authority to ask what the information is and then take their word for it, they won't report it, which is why if you look at Ripple's TVL, for example, you will barely see anything because almost none of it is publicly verifiable. You would just have to take their word for it, which is not to say that it's not there, just to say that it's not decentralized or open source enough for Llama to index it.
What was the one we were chasing down one day? I think it was Cardano, and we ultimately found out that like there was more TVL in my wallet.
Sometimes there just isn't any. All right.
It was empty like a canyon.
Let's see here. You know it's bad when Barachain is in front of you.
Yeah, well, it's not. There's no way it's even going to be on the headline board, dude.
Hold on. We have to click. Let's go. Let's see more.
Yeah, see more.
There we go.
There it is, Cardano. And I'm sure this is
oof.
178 million. I think that is that's got to be dead TVL. Oh, and it's going down. Oh no.
Officially the only one whose native token TVL is, if I was being optimistic and putting rose-colored glasses on to look at this, I would say that it's flat. But it's more of a very slow bleed.
Almost like Cardano holders can only handle so many years of nothing happening on chain.
Well, it's just one of those things. This is just okay. It's come up a lot. I see people talk about Cardano all the time, and I just want to make something clear. This has nothing to do with the chain working or not. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It works quite well, actually. I have actually done DeFi on Cardano. It's been a while, but by God, I did. It was disappointing and lackluster. But I've done other stuff. I've minted NFTs before. I still probably in some wallet somewhere hold some Cardano, and that would be a fun dig through my on-chain resume and history to find
Fun.
my old Cardano wallet because there's some Zombits in there somewhere.
Zombits?
Oh yeah, there were these cute little like pixelated zombies. I got them for some event at some conference. You needed.
Oh, don't worry, those will come back in value. Just like.
Oh yeah,
just
totally.
Like
I mean, to be very
Mutiny.
clear, I paid like 25 cents a piece for them.
Yeah, I paid 25 cents a piece for mine also.
They were almost free.
I totally did that too for all my NFTs.
But all this to say that the chain works. It's just that there's no one really doing anything there. And even if there was, I wouldn't know because no one from that lab, that foundation, has ever told anyone about anything happening there. The last time I saw, I think the Lace wallet was the last time I saw any like real product announcement. I mean, because if you take a trip down memory lane,
they did Midnight, and they kind of divorced Midnight from IOHK and Cardano in a lot of their public advertising. But they were all over. Midnight was all over permissionless. They were a headline sponsor.
No, you're right. I forgot about Midnight because Midnight was not like advertised as a Cardano product.
Yeah.
No, it's the parallel privacy side chain kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I learned
gonna
recently?
tank the price of Cardano.
I learned recently, according to Unchained, that when Trump tweeted about the XRP and Cardano reserve, that apparently that was the product of a conversation he had with a lobbyist from Ripple. And it was handled in such a way that it didn't go through his usual tweet filtering process for somebody to like approve or disapprove it. Like there was no XRP or Cardano reserve in talks. This lobbyist is just like, hey, you know, we're having this great meeting. You should send out a tweet right now. And apparently the lobbyist, they confirmed, wanted him. This is from secondhand reporting. The primary source is Politico. They wanted him to tweet about it. They were like, let's throw Cardano in there too. And let's put Solana in there. The tweet was like, we're going to establish an XRP, a Cardano, and a Solana reserve. And they wanted to put Solana in there because the Ripple lobbyists thought that would make it appear more legitimate to like people who work in the crypto industry.
That checks out.
That does check out. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because I would say Cardano and XRP are on the front page of like the TikTok or the Facebook crypto internet, but people in the crypto industry don't really spend much time talking about them. I would say people in the crypto industry feel about those tokens the way people not in the crypto industry feel about crypto. You know what I mean? Like your family's money manager, how he feels about crypto is kind of like how our colleagues tend to feel about Cardano or XRP.
I think there's
no shade,
but there's multiple things that contribute to that feeling of sadness. You know, one, it's the idea that I've had to hear about this constantly for the entire time I've been here, and I've never had anything new to share or report. Like if someone asks me about Avalanche, Solana, Polygon, Ethereum, like there's things that I can talk about that have happened in the last couple months that are interesting or new. If there's a development that someone was made aware of that has progressed, I can like go to this blockchain's ecosystem and I can scroll through a list of applications and I can try them out and I can, you know, use the good ones and, you know, lambast the shitty ones. But you can't do that with any of those things. If someone asks me about it, my answer right now is the same as it was 4 years ago, with the caveat that nothing has changed, so I feel worse about it. It's not, Polkadot is in the exact same category. It's not to say that I think that it's a scam or it doesn't work. There's just this very interesting decision made at the business level, which quite literally, like when you think about it this way, this should really put in perspective why I'm not excited about either of those. Somewhere in an office, someone is having a conversation every now and then, which is like, hey guys, do you think we should like remind anyone that we exist? And they're like, no, they'll figure it out eventually. It's only Polkadot is literally sitting in a room with a bunch of developers building stuff. And someone every now and then is like, hey guys, do you think that we should like consider marketing any of these things? And then it's that meme where they like throw that dude out the window.
Dude, I was just searching it to pull it up on screen.
And then everyone else is like, no, they'll figure it out eventually. And when they do, it'll be great. And that's where it's been for years. And it's just such a weird thing. So like when I personally complain about Polkadot or Cardano or something like that, it's not to say like crappy blockchain doesn't work, could never amount to anything, whatever. It's like the foundation's there. no one's ever put anything there because they don't know it exists. Or if they do, why would you as an engineer go there to create something if there's no users, no volume, there's no addressable market for you to reach out to with your thing? Now, maybe you're thinking like, okay, well, there's probably a bunch of desperate people. Maybe I could appeal to that and become the biggest protocol on whatever dead chain we're talking about. And that's true. But eventually you will get tired of having to be the only thing talking about that chain, the only thing doing any kind of marketing or growth or onboarding initiatives. If the lab is not helping you, if the foundation is not helping you, then you will burn out and you will leave, and it will cost you your business, and that sucks.
If you like, as a business, as you evaluate what blockchain to choose your home, you're going to choose the one that has the least amount of risk. And with so many options, there are clear risk mitigation factors associated with things like an Ethereum, Solana, and an Avalanche right now. Like those are the big three for sure in terms of like where you go and you build something. Whereas
because of exactly that, because there's a foundation or a lab or some sort of group that's like,
there's money on chain, there's a foundation of team to support you. Now, like there are
there's users
and stuff there, but that's the thing. There are users, there's money, and also there's a larger marketing platform because like you as a business need small business need all the help you can get when it comes to just being found and noticed, and you need to be in environments that have that platform. And if you don't have that platform now, and you haven't had it for 4 or 5 years that you've existed, you're not gonna get it most likely. At least the odds are very much so not in your favor. And so businesses will choose the safer platforms, which will be your Ethereum, your Solanas, Avalanches right now. I mean, hell, even I'm surprised SWE hasn't had more because it has such a platform because of the price of the token having done so well since 2024. I'm surprised SWE hasn't had more delivered at it, which is one thing that makes you look at SWE and just be like, I mean, like, you have all the pieces again, but it's right now on that same track of like your Cardano, your Polkadot.
But you know what? I would speculate that they're in that post-launch, like, successful run-up hype slump, wherein they're like, oh crap, that wasn't enough to sustain us all the way through, and now they're doing the thing that big ecosystems do when they like go into their first bear market, which is internal panic. We have to keep the people who built stuff here. They clearly like know how to talk about things that have happened. We've gotten product launches. I mean, they did the Play 0x, I don't know, the most awfully named whatever SWE called its handheld thing that I saw a ton of buzz about for like 5 minutes.
Dude, that's the thing with these handheld things. Like, there's always a ton of buzz, and I'm just like, no one's gonna remember this in 6 months.
Well, it's just that you got to launch it into a place where there's like things that you can then go do on it. If there's crossplay with something else that exists, cool, great. Like you did like a Steam crossplay thing, like, okay, I can get it. Like, I think the Solana one would have been way cooler if it went more the Ambernick route and you could load in like a ton of, like, can you imagine a world where the Solana PSG1, whatever their little handheld thing.
Yeah, the little game thing.
If that functioned like an Ambernick and
what is an Ambernick?
It's like I have one downstairs actually. It's like a Game Boy look-alike.
Okay.
But it's loaded with like thousands of retro games,
cool.
like going back
Okay.
ages. It's very cool. You can play all kinds of stuff on it.
It is cool.
Can you imagine a world where they made that, except it also had like wallet functionality, and they were tokenizing old retro games, and then you could like, find a way to connect like old profiles or old save data from old things and like put on chain. Oh, that would be so cool. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, of course.
Huge swing and a miss. There you go. Free biz dev advice for Solana PSG1, whatever the hell it's called. Also rename it. Something that we can remember.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It also just sounds like really close to infringement of property for like PlayStation.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But like, how many of those old games do you think there is a partnership that they would be into having, like some sort of way to rekindle love for old retro games through putting stuff on chain? If I was one of those, I'd be like, dude, if I was Metroid and someone reached out to do something cool like that, I would seriously consider it.
Well, Nintendo would never agree to that.
I just don't think any of these companies have relevant IP outside the crypto world. They don't have liquidity. Like, even if your token goes up a bunch, yes, that's the time to strike when the iron is hot. But you're building literally a world. Like, all of these networks if they're not, especially if they're not EVM compatible, like they're a silo unto themselves. They're a world unto themselves. You are building a literal new planet. So you got to do what first? You got to get air and water there if you're going to have people there. And so they need dollars to come in to be liquidity. That could be in the form of venture capital dollars. That could be in the form of we're going to give grants and stuff to help people build here. But then eventually they've got to attract customers. Like, who cares if you put every house in the world on the blockchain? If there's not a dollar on the other side of that house token, then it doesn't matter. That's why I'm much more excited about like Aave tokenizing real world assets than I am about my new company ABC123 that's the hot new thing tokenizing every deed in the world, because they have no liquidity.
Oh,
and
dude, on that, sorry, finish.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's easy to get excited about something because it's new, because they're promising, because they're hyped, because they're well backed, because their token has gone up a lot. But what we're building here is infrastructure for a new, better internet. So these things, they matter a ton. And somebody mentioned Stellar in the comments. I was segueing to that, and then I'll kick it back to you, Will. Somebody mentioned Stellar as an example of, like, they're doing a ton, but you don't always see it. When crypto people, they're talking about storytelling a lot right now in crypto Twitter. If you're a blockchain network, the story you have to tell is the story of, like, that matters to your users, that matters to the builders, and that might matter to the ones who've yet to come. People say build it and they will come. But if you're not telling the story the right way, they won't. Stellar is a good example of a company that's like really focused on a particular use case and telling that story to the people who need access to dollars, for example. Go ahead.
I was going to say Stellar is a great example of an ecosystem that's got stuff, plenty to talk about, is doing the work, has been consistently onboarding the exact groups that this whole industry purports to serve for years. And for some reason, this is a little shade meant, they just won't let their people, like, out of the crate to talk about it. It's very hard to find, like, readily available, like, public information outside of the confines of, like, legally approved posts on crypto Twitter.
Stellar could kill it if they would just free their people to go post on Twitter and just say stuff in Twitter Spaces. Like, I get that you're a big company and you're from Silicon Valley or whatever, that's cute. But if you want to be relevant with your peers and colleagues who are going to leave you to work at Solana or, like, pass you up for a job at the Ethereum Foundation, it's because you are not free to tell your story to that audience. You're telling a story to people who need dollars in LATAM, which is great. But,
perfect context, and I won't say her name, one, because she doesn't work there anymore, and two, because that's not important. We had a sit-down interview with someone who worked at the Stellar Development Foundation, and it was a great, like, little tiny mini baby interview. We were on the ground in Prague at Emergence.
Oh, yeah.
And we had this talk, and legal scrapped the entire thing from being able to be posted because the name of the ticker was mentioned, even though the sentence was, I don't want to talk about this, or we're not going to talk about this, or, I forget exactly how it was
we're not going to talk
phrased.
about the price of the token or something like that.
Literally, it was like a single sentence. We're not going to talk about the price of the XLM token. We're more interested in whatever, and legal scrapped the entire thing just because the name of the token got mentioned. And that was like the day where I was like, oh, really bearish just on that, because what a miss. Like, it was a great, they were literally filming a documentary at that same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
also, like, it's such a missed opportunity because Stellar has access into the rabid fan base of the XRP community, because there's the thought that, like, XRP and XLM are, like, together in sister projects, and even though they have no similarities in any way, shape, or form, really. But they have the ability to get access into that rabid fan base from that silly XRP bridge that people created themselves. If they just told their story, imagine if Stellar was like, hey, we're working with this company and this company. Hey, we just did this. Hey, we just did this. Hey, we just did this. Meanwhile, it's been silence from XRP/Ripple for 4 years in terms of what's been new, as Alex talked about. You could really tap into a lot of excitement if you just told your story of what you were doing into that rabid fan base, and then you'd probably cannibalize and eat a lot of the market share of the social space that XRP takes by simply just taking advantage of that silly bridge that was kind of created and not manipulated, but just kind of came out of nowhere just because the token also started with an X, right?
Yeah.
They have such a good opportunity to like really dominate a lot of the social airwaves, but
We've
they
told them
don't.
that. I told the CMO at Stellar that exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just so you know, this is the entire narrative outside of your tiny little bubble. And there was like 5 or 6 people from the team, from the marketing department, from the event staff that were there, like looking at me display this on multiple social media platforms. We search it, like what kind of content is going to come up if you're looking for Stellar stuff. And all of them, their faces were just like ashen. Like, God, this is awful. Yeah. Like, what? I was like, you could fix it.
Yeah.
We could start right now.
Yeah, what do you think the cost per view for that documentary was versus if they just
Oh my
sponsor a show
God.
like ours? Can you imagine how many more views they'd get? If like that's all you care about, like
Well,
come
what
on.
they should do is they should spend $200,000 on a Pokemon card and then make a video of it, and that's going to be really, really good use of your marketing dollars. Anyway, Polygon,
Take
you're
us.
great though. We love you.
We do love you.
We do
I
love you.
also just want to say, just because you mentioned the tokenization of real-world assets in Aave, that, assuming Aave can fix their internal infighting that they have right now, which is a big problem in my opinion, they really have to fix that and address that and smooth that over. Otherwise, I think Aave is potentially in trouble. You cannot have infighting between the DAO and the front end. I don't think you can. It's like
They
thinking
are in
that-
trouble
it's
until
like
this
think-
gets fixed.
It's like thinking that like Gala Games is going to come back because after like the
Oh, I
founders
don't
were
think
done,
it's that bad.
After
You
the
think it's that
founders were
bad?
done suing
No.
each other. No, but no, it's not that bad, of course, because like Aave's the giant. But they need to fix the infighting. But if they do, they're in the tokenization of real world asset space with the new launch of their upgrade, and then say goodbye to like Ondo really being talked about, because Aave is just
Yeah.
going to dominate the tokenization of real world asset space. It will totally take Ondo, shove it in the locker, and then everyone's going to be like, wait, why did we all think that Ondo was going to be like the leader in the space? Like, especially as compared to like Aave getting into it. Like, it's like comparing a chihuahua to an elephant in terms of the size and the weight and the importance of those platforms as compared to one another, and how much, like water gets displaced in the pool when the chihuahua enters versus the elephant. But Aave has to fix their internal infighting. They have to fix that. They need to come to some type of agreement between Aave Labs and the DAO. For those of you who are confused as to what's happening, we don't necessarily need to get into it right now. Just know there's some internal infighting. Some incentives are not necessarily aligned within the Aave ecosystem, and they need to try to find a way to fix it.
Well, and honestly, it's such a complex issue. We were talking about this last time. Is we'd like to have somebody from Aave and somebody from the DAO, like somebody from Avara and somebody from the DAO. Ideally, we could get Stani, because Paris has said before, like, oh, let's get him on the show, and we would love, really, maybe to have them at the same time. I don't think anybody has done that. And I can see a world where Aave wants to do the Stellar thing, and it's got to go through legal, and we absolutely couldn't do that. But I think that would be the wrong move.
It would be the wrong move, because the thing that needs to happen here is a realignment of priorities from both sides. I mean, you have the lab with their set of priorities, you have the DAO with their priorities. And right now they are clashing. And it's really, really unfortunate because, oh my God, that protocol is crushing it. God, they're killer. And this is like really, I am personally like very torn up and conflicted about the DAO versus labs. I think I text Evan and Will about it at least once a day. It really bums me out. And I think all I want to see is like leadership from the lab talk to at least to the top contributors of the DAO, because that's really the thing that I don't see happening right now. They're not talking.
It just seems
Well,
like
they're
bad
trying to talk,
communication.
but in a forum
Yeah.
at Christmas.
Bad timing in a non-ideal way. Like, just call people and have a human moment,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. So they need to get that shit sorted, and I hope they do, because it would be really bad for the space if they don't.
Mm-hmm.
We have some really good questions coming, and I don't want to be a bad steward of them, because we are getting to that point. We're a little more than halfway through the show. We're going to have to ride our dogs and ponies soon. The first question I want to address is, why is silver pumping, as a way to say, Will, if you know the answer to this, maybe you could prep a little segment, and is it something we can look forward to hearing about on Market Watch tonight? Because I haven't been able to tune in to Market Watch in a minute.
Yeah, so I think I'll be able to do Market Watch tonight. The only reason why I'm saying maybe to that is because yesterday I burnt my entire throat on the biggest bowl of clam chowder I've ever been served in my life.
Wow.
And it hurts to talk. So
that was the most Maine complaint I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was in Maine. Yes, this is correct. It was.
I knew.
Yeah, I knew.
I knew.
What gave it away?
Yeah, that's what gave it away. So I'm gonna say 80% chance because like I don't have mini calls today. Dude, I had people put calls on my calendar today. I'm like, what are you doing between Christmas and New Year's? Like, I hate you now. I hate you now. I will hate you forever. I will remember your name until my dying day as the person who put a call on my calendar between Christmas and New Year's. So let's just say I'll 80% chance Market Watch happens tonight. So I'd say count on it. But 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll go and dive into all the markets and everything. And I just put out a video today being like, hey, gold and silver about to have a pretty steep correction, most likely.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, just based on what I'm seeing on the charts. Narratively wise, though, it still doesn't necessarily make sense. It's just that they're so incredibly overbought from a TA standpoint. But like, especially because you had Japan come out early this morning again and state how they're going to have to hike rates a lot. But they're going to do it like slowly over time. So it's like it didn't really change much. But, some people are a little scared about it. That's why some people are saying things are down today. But, just from a TA standpoint, it looks like gold and silver have really topped.
Okay,
so,
interesting.
We can dive into it. You can also watch my video. I spend more time talking about silver than gold in the second half of it. So go take a look. Things look very overbought. I personally think precious metals are really due for a pretty significant correction. I think you see silver back at $55. It's at about $75 right now, $70. It really just seems like it's time for precious metals to have a correction.
Okay.
And that probably drags Bitcoin down with it because God hates us.
God hates us.
Just
we're in
remember,
crypto.
things doing well does not mean Bitcoin will do well, but things doing poorly does mean that Bitcoin will suffer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely.
Because God hates us.
Because he hates us.
The gods will it.
God wills it. What I would like to do is I'd actually like to pivot to one or two other questions, especially if we can already have a video to look forward to, or that we can go find, and we might look forward to Market Watch. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Because there's a question for all three of us to answer. And on the way there, let me ask you, Will, are you hip to traditional medicinals throat coat tea?
No.
Oh, bro. Listen, I'm going to turn you on to some serious alpha. Every legitimate vocal professional I know. This show is not sponsored by traditional medicinals, but I swear to God it absolutely could be. This is the alpha, my brother. You can get this in your grocery store. You can get it at Kroger. You can get it anywhere. You make it hot and then you cool it down because you burned your throat. But this stuff, the original with the slippery elm, it's like viscous and delicious. Okay? Anybody who's got a sore throat, talks for a living with honey in it, that's the remedy you need, my friend.
So you want me to fix my throat with some organic throat coat?
You're damn right I do.
Wow.
You
Nailed
are
it.
Damn right I do. I'm telling you,
That'll
this
be
is
the first video of my OnlyFans.
This is not a homeopathy
won't be the
thing. This
first.
is a serious.
It
this
won't
is a serious thing. You could elevate it with some of that. I can't say the name. I can't recall it. The Chinese viral honey that all the Broadway singers use. It's honestly fantastic, though it does
Well, if
taste
Broadway
a little like
does it,
Robitussin.
Maybe I'll give it a shot. But by the time I bought it and it got here, my throat will be healed. But by then I may have gotten another bowl of clam chowder, so who knows?
Okay, here, it's good because the fact check officer said throat coat is good.
Thank you, Bearded.
Thank you, Bearded. And actually, it's by way of Bearded that we've got this next question I want to talk about. This is a question for everybody. Specifically, Will, he asked where you do your daily DCAs. But then he said, actually, all three of you, maybe you could tell us about the regular buys you do and how or where you do them.
Yeah, I just do mine on Coinbase, and it's probably not the best place to do it. Honestly, it's just that's the platform I've used for forever, and they do just enough to keep me there, to stop me from going through the efforts and going to Kraken. Because I feel that pull every single time I do something, and I've just used it forever, and I have enough volume over there that my fees are low and all that kind of stuff.
All right, follow up. Can you conceptualize what it would take?
Great question.
I don't know. That's a really good question. I haven't really put a lot of thought towards it. It's really just kind of a feeling.
Because that would be a good video. That would be a great like.
Because I've used Coinbase since 2017, and
No,
I
you're a great example of like a customer that both of them should want very much. And I would be really curious what it would be, especially if you, because it sounds like you're almost like teetering on the brink of like having enough of a reason to switch, but not quite there.
They would just need to like, honestly, like for them, because like the platform works for me. My fees are low again because like the volume, I get discounts and all that other kind of crap. And it would just have to be like Coinbase, probably just like doing something that really messes with like my moral ethics. It would have to be something like that. It wouldn't necessarily be like as a user experience and stuff, and like it would. Because the user experience is better at Kraken, you know, for like everybody. So I enjoy
cheaper
that.
too.
Yeah, exactly. So like it would just have to be something that just made me really philosophically disagree with Coinbase. And they got close. Like I haven't used Base in months. Base was the blockchain ecosystem, you know, layer 2 for Ethereum, that I used by far and away over everything else.
Same.
And then they're like Base token, and then subconsciously, not even consciously, I just stopped using Base and I started using Solana. And then I realized I made that switch months later. And I was like, oh, I'm in my Phantom wallet. I haven't been in my Coinbase wallet in a long time. I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because fuck those guys. That's why.
Yeah, that was
like,
a
oh, yeah,
disenfranchising moment for me
I just
too.
consciously had that knee-jerk fuck you Base moment when they were like, we're going to release a token. And I was like, so like Coinbase would have to do something ish like that. But now that Coinbase is releasing tokenized stocks, I was like, oh, cool. Now I don't have to like move my money to Fidelity to buy Circle stock when I want to buy it and like do other stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's there too. So maybe I'll stay. It would have to be something philosophically that just naturally created what my brothers and I just call the natural and very, very vicious Watson fuck you. And then it's just done. And then you're over and you're gone and you're dead.
I'll tell you, Brian's trying my patience right now with the way that, he had a weird statement yesterday or the day before. I sent it to the trust issues group chat just as like a thing to talk about this week. It was just like this weird, it was like him, you know, drawing his line in the sand about Genius, because there's been some congressional murmurings about like reopening the Genius conversation, which for the record absolutely needs to be reopened and examined. And I would not say like to abolish it, but like we need a little more. It's time. We've got to put a little more sauce in there. And Brian was just like, don't you fucking dare. And I was like, that's a really telling stance for you to take that aggressively with almost no context. And his post, I sent it to Emily, and she just like the head desk gif of, you know, just like, how stupid does he think the people reading this are? And it's one of those moments where I don't think that people reading it are stupid. I just think that most people reading it are like, yeah, Brian, you go, because we're still kind of in this mode of like, the industry needs a champion to like fight for it on the Hill. And we don't quite realize that the only people aggressively fighting for crypto on the Hill right now have a completely opposite incentive from all of us who want to see the industry succeed, whether that is just number go up or more options and freedom to use DeFi more easily. And so I don't know. I'm becoming like disenfranchised with that ecosystem just because of the way that they're all talking about this. And it's like, it's just becoming so corporate, and that really bums me out.
Yeah.
So without detracting from the question, because I do want to get back to the DCA thing, I want to tell you there's a Tetragrammaton interview with Brian Armstrong. It's the most recent episode of Rick Rubin's podcast, Tetragrammaton, and I've started listening to it. It gives you a little more empathy and understanding for the guy, which I think is always valuable to have when you're trying to assess
Well, his Diary
somebody.
of a CEO was killer. That was very interesting. Extremely interesting.
I bet it was. Steven's great, and Rick Rubin, respect, man. He's a good interviewer. He just gets out of the way and lets people talk.
And say, that's exactly how Steven does it too. Just like he has these great like priming
Perfect
questions.
Yep.
And then he just stops and they just speak. And he's not afraid of silence. I think that's super important. Like purposeful silence to like, you know, let something be weighty. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that.
Okay, so Coinbase, Kraken, DCAing. There are a lot of comments coming in about this. Bearded says, I'm still on Coinbase. I keep looking at what it would take to move. And Shirley, he says, there's something you might do to move there, not just for them to mess up. And Magic said, I thought this was funny, Base is for everyone, but you can't sell them on at ICO to watch it tank, and investors take profits right after launch, you know. So, Alex, you had a thought?
Yeah. So I just think the interesting point for someone looking at those two comparatively, like as a DCA platform,
right,
Kraken wins all day, every day, simply because their monthly like premium subscription is like a fifth of the cost of Coinbase's.
So Coinbase rolled out also a cheap one. They both have like a $6 plan.
Okay. What's the difference between that and the $30 one?
Bro, I don't know. I know
Okay.
I
Here's
think
another
they're
problem.
comparable. I think they're comparable.
Then what's the fucking point?
Okay, here's the point. The point is they all want to have the same features. Kraken had tokenized stocks before Coinbase did.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah, it's the Android to the Apple, yes.
But their fees are lower. That's the big thing. I would say
But
Kraken,
naked Kraken fees with no premium they're still there. Like, it's not great. I just tried to on-ramp a bunch of USDC and I went and compared both. Neither one with no premium was like what I would call, super. It was like cheaper for me to go to a non-centralized exchange on-ramp. But the premium is like way cheaper at Kraken.
Okay, so here's the test you got to run.
Okay.
This is what I would do. Bearded or anyone listening, if you're considering specifically between Coinbase and Kraken or Coinbase and Binance, I would test the on-ramp and I would give yourself 1 month of dollar cost averaging buys. Send $100 to each platform. Set up a daily DCA to buy Bitcoin at the same time. The same amount, $2 of Bitcoin every day until your 100 is gone. And at the end of the month, honestly assess who had the smoother experience, which was easier to and at the end of it, do a withdrawal. Like send it to another wallet or cash out and send it back to your bank. That'll give you like an assessment of a whole suite of features. You'll get to experience the fees, and then you'll get to see better which experience you prefer. Shout out to Magic here. He says benefits are not the same. Talking about these premium plans. Kraken for $6 a month, I think he's talking about gives you no fees up to $10,000. Whereas for $6 a month on Coinbase, it's no fees only up to $500. They bump you up to $10,000 at the $30 plan. So it sounds like Kraken Pro, and also just generally DCAing on Kraken, even if you're a freebie user, is cheaper. So the comparison I'm getting is if you're a serious DCAer and you're a crypto native, Kraken might be the move.
The thing for me too is like Coinbase has just been like I don't think about an exchange to use. I just go, time to do stuff with crypto, and I go to Coinbase and I buy the thing and I tow it on chain and I go do it, and that's just been like the route I've been on. It's muscle memory really, and I haven't explored the use of Kraken. If I go and I write down on my whiteboard differences between Coinbase and Kraken, I go, oh yeah, the choice here is Kraken. I should go do that. But the thing is I just haven't dedicated a lot of mental energy towards doing it and then going through the effort of actually doing it, which isn't that much effort. But it's just like it's just habit. Like I've been in the habit of just using Coinbase since 2017, and something needs to knock me off those rails. But maybe it'd be like a good start of the new year to just, I think going and maybe take my DCA, like daily DCA, and turn it off on Coinbase and just turn it on Kraken, and then use that as my gateway to explore Kraken a little bit. Another thing that would make me leave Coinbase too is, we've spoken with people at Coinbase and have generally had good people. It's just bad business conversations. And we've talked about it before. The people at Base and Coinbase that we've spoken to are great, but they only really like to support financially and work with people financially and business wise who's really just only going to say good things and kind of hype and pump them up. And that's not us. And then they wanted us to do a whole bunch of stuff for free. And I'm just we were just what are you talking about? What do you mean?
That was icky.
This is crazy. And so it's the business conversations I've had with Coinbase have definitely rubbed all three of us the wrong way. And, we're getting closer and closer to maybe developing a relationship with Coinbase in some way, shape, or form. And even if they never became a sponsor, if I just got to know them and they were really nice and, kind of became friends of ours, it'd be yeah, I want to support my friends. So that would make me become Kraken too. They wouldn't even have to spend a single dollar on sponsorship. Just be my friend, and I'll probably go use your platform because I like you, and I'll go do this. And right now with Coinbase and Base, I'm I think you're fine. You're good people. I just don't really, these have been really bad conversations, and it rubs me the wrong way. So that's all there. I'm ready to be converted by Kraken. I just haven't gone through the effort. I haven't really experienced the brand and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure that if I dip my toes in there, I'll probably start slowly transitioning. And I probably should do that in January.
Yeah, it's large. The habit thing makes a lot of sense. Kraken has been my go-to for the entire time. And I will be honest, the reason that habit started was just because I liked the branding better. I literally just enjoyed the aesthetic feel of that platform better in a world where it did the exact same thing for me that other ones did. I was like, I just like the look and feel of this one more, and then I've been there through all of the different versions and all the, legacy dashboards and all that kind of stuff. And it's, yeah. Habit forming.
Couple of comments here. Union Made Man says, you mean Coinbase is in it for the money and they don't care about me? Yeah, sorry about that. I hate to break it to you, but you know. Also, a lot of questions coming in. What about Uphold? What about Revolut? What about Robinhood? What I recommend is if you want to do this comparison to find out which is the best solution for you, because you might care more about stocks than crypto. You might care more about withdrawing to a bank that is based in Australia than you do the United States. So you might be looking at CoinSpot or Binance. What you should do is go to your favorite LLM. I'm talking about a AI like ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, Claude, and just tell it a little about yourself. I am a crypto user who lives blank. I'm, spending this much money on dollar cost averaging. I want to do this. I want to buy stocks, whatever. Just tell it about you. And then say, can you help me compare different platforms, brokerages, etc., to buy crypto and stocks or whatever matters to you? Tell me about their fees. Tell me about their restrictions. Tell me about this, so that I compare, make me a table. And then you can see, how many stocks does Robinhood have access to? What about Coinbase? How many crypto tokens? Can you move them off the platform? Whatever matters to you, because there's no such thing as the best platform. As you can see from this conversation, the important thing is to find something that is from a legitimate company that supports the services, the products, whatever that you want to use, and that you find easy to use consistently well. This is true for pretty much everything in crypto, whether we're talking about crypto wallets, whether we're talking about crypto exchanges. You got to find something legit that supports the products and services you want, that's easy for you to use consistently well. Otherwise, the other stuff isn't going to matter. And though this show is not sponsored by Kraken or by Coinbase, it could be. And we are hopefully going to have some more conversations with Kraken soon, because I could be persuaded. Now, the last thing I want to say on this topic before we move on, and that's my cue to you guys, be watching the comments or thinking about where you want to take it, because we've got time for one more good topic, is my favorite place to DCA is River. I don't dollar cost average anything other than Bitcoin right now. I have thought about, since prices have gone lower, doing like Will and starting a daily DCA of some other tokens. I would consider DCAing Solana or ETH. Although I would probably swing trade ETH because it tends to be up or down. I don't know why. I use River as an exchange where I DCA Bitcoin because they're like Coinbase, they're like Kraken, but all they do is Bitcoin. And so their competitive pitch is we're able to offer the lowest fees, the tightest spreads, the best DCA, and move your stuff to custody experience for anybody who just wants to buy Bitcoin. Now, of course, I buy other things all the time. But what I do is I have it set up so that every week the same amount of money is drawn from my bank account for no fee automatically to River. And every day at the same time, it buys the same amount of Bitcoin. This is called dollar cost averaging. If you're not familiar with it, it's something worth looking up. And if Bitcoin's price is down from the day before, I have a rule that it doubles it. If it's down significantly, I have a rule that it triples it so that I accumulate more on discount days. And then it's easy for me if I want to pull more money to spend it. They have a cool thing like Coinbase does with USDC, or like Kraken does, like everybody does, where your money sitting on their platform earns interest. My money on River earns, I think it's 3%. In Bitcoin. So while my money is waiting to become Bitcoin, I'm earning interest in Bitcoin. It's a great play for somebody who it's the best investing decision I've ever made personally. I don't have to think about it. I just got to make sure there's money in my bank so that at the start of every week, my little robots can take over and buy Bitcoin for me. I love it. It's river.com. And we have a code there on the recommended tools and deals tab of the Rise Up Morning Show website, RUMSHQ.com.
Evan, I have to share a few things, and then I have to actually get going myself a little bit sooner before you and Alex.
In that case, my friend. Wrong sound. I was gonna say.
No, that was right. That was good.
Go for it.
Yeah,
what you got to share?
Pit of despair, sure. So one, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy bought another $110 million worth of Bitcoin. So there's that. Now, so there's that bit of news. The other thing as well is there were rumors, and I saw these rumors going around, but reported from people I didn't really know, and now I'm seeing it reported from people I know, and typically they're pretty solid. So this is a rather bearish rumor. So this one is the person who I saw some tweets earlier, and I was like, I don't know that person. Now I'm seeing coming from Jesse Cohen over on Twitter. X, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, okay, hey, maybe there's actually something to this. So this is an unconfirmed rumor, but there are major rumors going around that a major bank that is unnamed basically collapsed on a silver margin call in overnight trading. So the story's written. So at 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, reports had been coming in claiming a systemically important bank, a major player in silver futures, failed to pay its margin call by 2 a.m. and was liquidated by the futures exchange at 2:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The reports are concealing the name of the bank, but it is confirmed that overnight, the Federal Reserve was forced to pump another $34 billion into the banking system through its emergency overnight repo facility. This $34 billion is on top of the $17 billion, which had to be pumped in just 2 days ago on Friday morning. The bank involved is described as one of the largest players in the precious metals derivatives market, blew past every risk limit and breached every covenant and exhausted every line of credit.
Wow.
So that is the rumor going around, but backed up with
Yikes.
an emergency, twice the size emergency repo action by the Federal Reserve, where they just take money and slam them into banks to make sure that banks don't collapse. So something potentially happened. So people are saying keep your eyes on JP Morgan Chase, HSBC Holdings, Scotiabank, BNP Paribas, UBS Group, Deutsche Bank, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs. And if I had to pick which one, it's probably Deutsche Bank.
You think so?
Dude, Deutsche Bank is the worst run bank in the world in terms of major banks. They fuck up left and right all the goddamn time, which is funny because Germans are supposed to be very efficient people and like go by the rules. And Deutsche Bank fucks up all the time. Or it's HSBC. Those are the two. HSBC. Those are the two banks that are like super fucked up and tend to really like to do business with cartels and terrorist organizations too. So, you know, hey, it's probably them. It's probably them. They're horribly run banks.
So if you're playing on Polymarket this morning, let us know if there's a market open for this.
You're telling me there's a chance.
And if you are an employee at one of those companies who was staying up so late that you fell asleep at 2:45 a.m. on your desk after chain smoking a bunch of cigarettes and missed the call alert to add more leverage, like Letters in Bloom said, someone's getting fired today, and we are so sorry it's you. Will, what else do you have for us before you go?
The last thing I was going to talk about is like my DCA. So like I've still had maintained a bearish stance on Bitcoin to see Bitcoin below 70,000, ideally between like 54K to like 65K.
Whoa!
And you know,
That's
with
low.
Bitcoin, if it does go down there, what I'll do is I'll double the size of my Bitcoin DCA, and I'll increase the size of my Ethereum and Solana DCA by 50%. So, you know, I buy a little bit all the time, and then once it gets into super oversold territory, I increase the size of that DCA to, you know, really even faster bring down my daily, my average from those higher buy points. And, you know, that's what I do. So that's what I'll be doing. And then when I'm really convinced of a bottom, I have a fat stack of stable coins that are just earning interest right now across a number of different things. And then I'm going to go and just start making it rain on some altcoins and, you know, probably increase my size in Ethereum and Solana as well.
Before you go, Will, I want to read you this comment from Daalo that says, William looks like the New York big butt guy.
I will have to Google that.
I wonder if he means there's a guy on TikTok called Frankie, I think Pena, and his whole thing is built different. He's got these like filled out shorts. Do you know what's wild? I saw him on a stream the other day on a TikTok live, and he was trading pump.fun shitters. I was like, even you,
goddamn,
big butt guy?
Business is bad, hey?
Nothing Nothing is sacred.
Okay, have you got anything a last word, good joke before you ride off, Will?
No, that's it. Otherwise, I'll just say, hey, in these markets, pays to be patient. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's your friend and mine. We'll give you an update on whether or not there will be a market watch tonight in the Circle
We'll
community.
do it. I just have one stupid call today that's stupid.
Yeah, don't be a wuss.
And they're dumb, and I'll do it tonight.
Will Watson.
Particularly if we have news come out today about what bank this is.
Dude, this bank.
This is real. I mean, hey, get ready to see the stock market collapse, gold metals to fall, and probably Bitcoin with it too, if this is real.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Get ready to DCA. Move to stables.
Even though Bitcoin is the answer, let's get ready for it to crash again.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Abu Dhabi's got to buy more of it. So anyway, see you guys later.
Bye for now. Bye. Okay, and on our way out the door, if you've got a final thought, word of wisdom, good joke, prediction for which bank it is, something else altogether, let us know. Leave it in a comment. And if you miss your chance to leave it in the comments, of course, you got to leave it where the show lives 24/7. I'm talking about community.rumshq.com. That's RUMSHQ, like Rise Up Morning Show headquarters. Alex, as we head out the door, what's on your mind? What are you thinking?
I was just thinking about that. That bank news, that's
the guy with the big butt? Oh, yeah, that too.
Also,
yeah.
Well, yeah, always.
Is it real? Does he stuff his shorts? Do we know?
Come on. You know it's real. This is a gross misrepresentation of the facts. I was, I don't know, kind of like I was telling you, yesterday, one of the things that I really I have on my mind constantly is, especially as we talk about, another bank doing dumb bank things and requiring a bailout, knowing that that's unconfirmed, but also knowing that would not, I don't think any of us would be really shocked. It just makes me think how many products and services there are out there that exist that you can use to opt out of this just garbage system. And right now is the perfect time because it's cheaper to get into most of them. And if you are, a long-term holder of some of this stuff, it should be working for you. And it's just this constant idea that you can put so many more things to work for you than you think you can. And I'm obsessed with the idea of making that more palatable and digestible. There was a great comment earlier from someone who was curious about what the average median age of people watching and hanging out with the show is. So if you're comfortable sharing, please feel free to toss that out. They said they were 59 and they felt most people in their age group, at least that they talk to, are intimidated by this whole thing. And that's exactly the note that I sent to our friends at Jito last night. I wrote them this whole big thing about wanting to talk to them this week and the plans for the show to do more features there, because I think and actually correct me if I'm wrong, seeing the ages come through this is okay. Great.
49, 53, 63, 56, 56,
49,
56. No 67s yet? Come on.
Joey the baby over here at 37.
37, yeah, the youngest so far. Linda, 70.
Well, listen, my mother just turned 70 just a few days
71?
ago.
Oh, this is amazing. Gen Xer here. I'm 75. Yeah, we've really.
So actually, we are the babies. I'll
we
be
are
I'll
the
be
youngest
35
people on the show
in a week and a half, and
23. Ole Olsen. That's good. 36. I like
77.
it. 25. I like it.
Awesome. Okay, very cool.
1975.
So
yeah.
I just I hear the intimidation. That's what I was saying. I sent that to Jito, just listen. The way that I've been trying to describe Jito is it's the gateway to Solana DeFi. You get in there with just you walk in with just Solana, with Sol, the token, and you walk out with a whole bunch of different leads and links, a curated list of DeFi experiences and protocols and things you can use, and all these different ways that you can level up your exposure to Solana DeFi and get more involved and earn more and compound more and all this kind of stuff. There's so many things that you can do from starting there, which is why I pursued them as a partner. in case anyone was curious how this particular sponsorship came to be. Found them at a conference, was a fan, was already a user, told them I wanted to talk, and here we are a year and a half later, and it's awesome. But the platform is intimidating. That's my big note. It's very intimidating to walk into. Even for me, like I walk in and I'm immediately thinking like, man, there's so much here. There's so much technical language. There's so many, terms that I don't know the definitions to and all this kind of stuff. I don't, why is MEV being advertised as like the main purpose of this platform? I thought it was a DeFi thing. What is MEV? And then you Google it and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can't tell. Is this good or bad? And, so I think we need to clean that up a little bit. But I don't know, that's like all I'm focused on, because correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone has gone to the website, if anyone has like taken a stab, if you are staking there, if you're not staking there, if you're interested in staking, or what you can do with that difference between native staking, liquid staking, like all this kind of stuff. I don't know, that's my Roman Empire right now, is the gatekeepiness of DeFi based on complexity, and the barrier to entry being high because literacy of these terms, of these protocols, is low. And I really want to be the one to change that. It just kills me that like more people are not using this stuff, because I know we're all having a bad time with, basic traditional financial vehicles and banks and all this bullshit. And like the answer is there. It's just hard to read.
Yeah. If you're not the one, then where does my soul belong? In your pool? I don't know.
What are you doing?
I'm a big fan of this.
I'm singing you a song, man. You know that one? I don't want to run away. It was like a 90s song. It was a love song.
Do I know that song?
Yeah. And
song is that?
it's If You're Not the One. If You're Not the One. It's got a really good chorus that I can't sing this early in the morning because it goes like way high. But if you're not the one, Alex.
Well, that was better than I could do on my best day, so.
Listen, man. Hey, okay. All right. You said you reached out to them last night about coming on the show this week, but we had a talk yesterday, and I was like, bro, tell them to come on the show at the end of the month. Are you
that's what I said.
me right now? Okay.
No, that's what I said. I set the stage exactly like we. Don't worry.
Perfect. What day do you want to do that? Because let's tease that. You want to do Wednesday or Thursday this week?
Wednesday feels right with 101.
I'm thinking that could be the move. Thursday gives us a little more time to advertise and for me to make a graphic or something. But I don't. Well, it's.
I guess I was under the impression that this was going to be like a later week in the month, like a plan as we get into January.
We get into January. I like that even better. So starting next week is what you're saying. Okay. So this week your homework is to go to Jito, Jito.network. Check it out. Starting next week, we're going to advertise this. This is a thing we're doing in the new year. We are going to have a little graphic, a little calendar of like this month on the show. Expect these guests, these topics. Wednesday, January 3rd, we're doing this. And we will do a lesson a week so that we can break it down into bite-sized chunks featuring partner of the show, Jito, talking about, we've talked about this before, but going back to like, what is it? How's the platform look? How's the website? Then going to, how do you stake your tokens there? Then going to something more advanced. And then finally, we'll check in with the team to talk about what they're building, where they're going next. It's going to be great. I love that we're doing it next week. And if you want to learn about Jito, get their good link, or find out about any of the other partners that make this show possible, then head on over to rumshq.com/recommended tools and deals. We've got all the partners of the show there. I'm talking about Arculus, Jito, Unlock Protocol, Polygon, and of course, the White Whale. We thank them all for everything they do. And we've even got some like not sponsored, but it could be previous sponsors, etc. Links you can use to products we like to help the show. Alex, I see you trying to answer a question on the way out the door.
Yep. I'll make it. I'll make it the thought.
He'll make it.
Okay. So yeah, there was one question, spell it, which I'm not, sorry, I didn't see it come in. It might've been when I was talking about Jito. It's Jito. I would love feedback from you. I'm trying to bring them like more, anecdotes and feedback from people who have gone over there and taken a look at it and shared, initial feelings, especially as like a beginner to DeFi, or even someone who's intermediate or someone who's used it before. Like, send me a note, just says like your experience level and have you used it, and what your perception is of it if you go take a look. That would be immensely valuable. And if you have Sol, try to stake some and let me know how that goes. It's very easy. I think they do that part really well. And then like from there they have this link that just says like DeFi opportunities, and you go and there's so many amazing things, but it's like information overload.
Anyway. Got soul, but I'm not a soldier. You know that one?
I do know that one. And then I'll end by saying so Steklerich was asking about Humidify. We talked about it a little bit last week. It's a Solana DEX AMM product. They came out the gate swinging with a tremendous amount of volume. Stole a pretty significant piece of market share. My genuine advice on that one is if you are messing with the token, which is wet, if you have the opportunity to take profits, my recommendation is that you do that. I think that even if it's successful, it's going to go through the initial growing pains that every product does in this space, especially given the time that the market is currently in right now. If you end up, consider paying yourself back for making a good bet there. But the long-term success and the longevity of that platform is going to depend on whether or not they can keep up with this momentum. I expect that they will not, at least in the short term, and then it will be what does the recovery look like? Now the conversation is about sustainability. We got launch hype. What can you do after that? So yeah, if you genuine advice, if it's new, it's fresh. If you bought it and it gets up and you're up on it at all, consider taking some profits. That is financial advice.
A platform called Humidify, with a token called Wet, and it was the first ICO on Jupiter's DTF platform.
Yes,
Launchpad.
And like I said, the some of the stuff about it that I'm not super into. One, it's a new token launch.
The name.
The name, yeah, I mean, I get it. It's got
it.
some kind of meme ability. You try to do something that's going to stick out in your head. It's kind of funny. Like, I get it. You're trying to, you do some things to work on the brand, whatever. I get it. Honestly, I wouldn't knock it for that. Whether it's a miss or not, like, at least someone tried. The way that the launch went was very interesting, right? Like, the first one was awful. They launched the token, and it got completely overrun and decimated by a bot attack. Like, 100% of the supply was gone to a coordinated batch of purchases, and their response was kind of baller. It was just like, okay, you can have that token. We're gonna do another one, and then they did, and it went way better. And genuinely, like that, the response to that from like the DeFi community, was quite positive. Initially, it was awful. Like the first one, it was like, oh wow, this was supposed to be bot proof. Look at you guys, you really shit the bed on this one. Terrible. And then they didn't do some like weird rollback. They didn't try to like ruin the particular. They were just like, okay, that token can exist here. We're gonna just do another one. Let's go round two. And it went way better. And people were like, okay, that was kind of a baller move. I don't know. Yeah, my advice stands. If you find yourself up, consider taking profits.
Perfect. I think that's a good note to end it on. My friends, thank you for being the very best part of what we do. Remember, if you're not there yet, the best place to get our attention, to get our help, or to connect with us, all the resources that we have totally for free is community.rumshq.com. I know there are people who are tuning out when I say that, and it is the most important thing to lock into. The only thing missing is you. If you're trying to accelerate your crypto learning journey, what the heck are you doing? Get over there. We will be back tonight for Market Watch, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with Will and Doug. And then right here, same time, same place for more Rise Up Morning Show tomorrow. So until then, everybody, stay safe, be well. My friends, rise up.